But it's not for everybody, Bill. And I tell the kids, I would rather you keep the money and give it to the Catholic Church than come here to find out it's not for you. Or don't even give it to the Catholic Church. Give it to the local mosque or give it to whoever. You will know, the kids that come here tonight for dinner will know by noon tomorrow.
How would they know if it's right?
They're going to know whether it's right for them. They're going to feel the energy they don't have and everybody else does.
Got it.
It's not for everybody. That's why I say it's for the 0.00001 on the planet. And even though we have 7.8 billion people now, I'll still leave it at 7.5 billion. 750,000 people on the planet are physically capable of the sacrifices. That doesn't mean they're going to make it. They're capable. Because some are as thick as two short planks. Some have a 5 IQ. Some are so fucking ugly they scare a bulldog off a meat truck. Some are 900 pounds. Some are 3 feet tall. There's all kinds of other reasons. It's not for everybody. It just isn't. And I would be a disingenuous asshole if I said, it just isn't. It's a pay price action. How much are you willing to sacrifice to have, it's not eternal wealth, but kind of eternal wealth. If the devil floated right now, I'd ask him for ID first. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cut a deal with the devil tonight, now, this moment. I don't have to think about it. Guys like you got to think about it. A religion aside, you still have to think about it. I don't fuck. That's why I was so pissed off that I didn't get to do my exorcism.
Oh, I listened to that.
I was ready. And Father Mateo had to go die on me. Little shithead Filipino priest. He had done, 8,000 or 9,000 exorcisms.
How's the deal with the devil different than with ethical, moral, legal that we talk about? Ethical, moral, legal versus deal with the devil.
Well, see, I don't even think, I would just flip.
Okay.
He flipped me. It's easy. And what you think is moral and what I think are moral are two different universes.
Sure, yeah.
And it's an excuse, Bill. It's an excuse. The worst thing I've ever done in my life is still moral. The worst thing. And I've done some bad shit. Now, we've had death threats recently. Should I have told everybody on the seminar that? There may be a bomb in the thing tomorrow. You would have written a personal letter to everybody to tell them that there have been death threats and there may be a bomb in the, the pavilion. Is that immoral? Is it?
No.
Okay. If a bomb goes off tomorrow, the only one that's going to be killed is you. As Josh Kim in his infinite wisdom said a couple years ago, on his 21st birthday here, he came back here on his 21st birthday to come to the seminar again, 95% of the things I worried about. Now listen to this, meatheads. 95% of the things he worried about, it didn't happen. It never came up anything even remotely close to 95% of the things. Worry is more fear than reality. And when you're somebody like me that is looked for, hair-raising things to do, there's a program on TV, British TV, called Prodigal Son. I said this in the last seminar. It's about a son a guy who's a son of a serial killer, a doctor, Whittington or Whittaker or something. And he had killed 23 people, blah, blah, blah. And the similarities between the son and the father, other than they didn't call the son a serial killer, were pretty spot on. And then it came out about halfway through the series that his sister had more of the traits of the father than the son. Kids don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you do. And I mean, it became very, very clear to me why I am the way I am in a lot of things. I am the way I am. My dad was a hitman for the CIA. Everybody knows it. Well, not just because it's on Wikipedia, but I mean, everybody fucking knows it. Some think that the 9, 13, or 21, depending on who you want to believe, people that he killed deserved it. Well, you can justify anything in your fucking mind, right?
Right.
Okay? And, the church would say he committed a mortal sin. Death's a mortal sin. You killed somebody, right? Okay. My dad probably didn't consider it a sin. So a lot of the things that just, it's like one of the hardest things, you talked about sales when you were selling insurance. By the way, that was a great insurance company you worked for. You have to work for one of the best. When you first got out of school and how you were nervous, etc. Most kids, the biggest problem they have, it's not the 2,000 cold calls. It's being a salesman. Because I knew guys, their fathers were, they sold toilet products. And they called their dad an industrial engineer. Because better an industrial engineer than a father that sold toilet products.
The other thing too, I don't think this is for the older folks, but 30 plus that own a business is, and you were saying this in 96 as well, is extracting yourself from the business so that you can be a salesman of the process. And not do everything else that you would think would be CEO responsibilities. If you're building this model, and so as far as mistakes that I have inched my way out of is that primary role into a QLA role of sales.
And the sales aren't as good.
Sales are not as good.
Well, I would have fired all your salesmen. You don't have salesmen working for you. I told you that 4 years ago, 2 years ago. Thomas McGuire, he took himself out of sales. I think the first 60 days, sales dropped 75%. Marcus Bauer took himself out of sales. Sales dropped 90%.
Well, and keep in mind, I'm 4 years into this now. So when it was like pulling your fingernails out to get me out of sales. So this did not happen.
But that was your comfort zone.
Yeah, this did not happen year one. I just did both. I just worked longer and harder to do QLA and just expanded the day to do both. But I never got myself out of sales until literally the past during the Corona, so about a year and a half. And we in the world's most important market, IT security, that you should be able to sell, what we do is real and it's helpful and it's useful. We're not selling restaurant seats, which you can't buy. We're 1%. We're up 1%. So, but that's the fear. That's why I come back, because I can sit and go head to head. You go head to head with me, challenge me, because I need to be able to feel that fear and do it anyway. And quite honestly, that's why. The
other reason is he's comfortable. You're not going to starve to death, are you?
Good point.
That's not a good. I told you. Not the trouble, but the challenge with the potato head Irish. I could just have pulled out my notes 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It's exactly the same thing I'm saying right now. But he's not dissimilar to most of the people. Most of the people. He just he keeps in the Irish potato brain mentality. He just keeps hitting his head up against that wall. And but that's no guarantee he's going to eventually have a super extraordinary quantum leap success. That doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Because the hardest things, he hasn't changed. He's made inroads. That's better than no roads, but he's made inroads, and that's great. But it's like in my athletic lack of prowess. If Roy J. sits in hell right now, he used to say, Pina, if you're so fucking slow, you ought to wear the other team's jersey. I can see him. Short, fat, little thing that he was. He was an All-American, though. He was on some obscure Pina All-American as a fullback. I don't know, but he was an All-American. He had athletic ability. Okay. Pina, you're so slow, you got to wear the other team's jersey. Some nights I dream about that. As opposed to your wife, as opposed to your kids, as opposed to even you that had athletic ability. Pina, but I was a tackling dummy. You heard this? They used to give me the football, and they used to make a circle around me, 20 guys, and come from all directions and just hit me, try to knock the ball out of my. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after fucking year, I never let go of the ball. But I got metal parts. The doctors say that's why I've got so many metal parts, because I got them bummed up. I got in one game against Manual Arts. They were ahead 42-3. Pina! Where's that fucking Mexican wetback? Pina! Get your fucking ass up here! Yes, coach. Get in for so-and-so. And they had a guy named Harry Wells, an All-American, black kid, fullback, 6'5", 260-pound fullback. And I said, they had about 6 seconds to go on the clock. I says, please, God, don't let him sweep left or right for him. Like God heard me. That big black bastard, he took the ball and he leaped over the line. And from about here to the camera, and by the grace of God, he couldn't drag me across the goal line. That's my only... And they carried me off the field like I was a fucking All-American. And we lost 42-3. That's it.
One game.
And you have just the opposite of that. And what the fuck have you done with it? Nothing. And something else. If you think your kids, and if I believe 3/4 of what you write about them, which I don't, they know you haven't fulfilled anywhere near your potential. And you think they think you're successful. So for no other reason, Bill, than your kids. Your wife's already given up. But he's here. He's done a couple of deals, which are a couple of deals more than you assholes have done. But he knows that he's got more inside him. He's got more in the tank. And if I was before I walked over here, I was listening to Paul Logan, who ostensibly is going to fight Tyson now. And I've been interviewed by him, and I thank him, for giving me the opportunity to be on the show. But if it's a real fight, we're going to be sending flowers to Logan's father, who I happen to know, for another way. What last thing would you like to leave the kids with? Last message, like your epitaph.
Well, I only know keep showing up. That's what I know, and keep. I set a big vision. So my vision is to secure the lives of 1 billion people and deliver it on promises and customers for life. So that's what gets me up. That gets me fired up to keep doing what I'm doing, and certainly my kids as well. But I have a deep. I had to come here to learn how, but I also have a deep reason why. So that's my message.
And who gave you the idea to change 1 billion lives? Where'd you hear that?
Where did I hear that?
Yeah.
Might have heard it through you.
Yeah, well, might have, yes. The easiest way to become a billionaire, and there's no easy way, is change the lives of 1 billion people. And by definition, you'll become a billionaire. And for those of you that are interested primarily in changing lives and saving the world, one comment about saving the world. And apparently I'm the only one that reads these studies. 4 or 5 months ago, a national study sponsored by Scientific America or somebody, said that if we stopped on January 1, this January, all the bad things that affect our atmosphere, every single one, coal, this, that, hairspray, whatever.
January 1.
January 1,
Okay.
2021. How long would it take to bring the world, the planet, that we apparently love so much, back to pre-industrial revolution time of the 1860s, 1870s, before they started all this shit? How long do you think it would take, Bill?
5 years?
1,000 years.
1,000.
1,000 years, Bill.
To bring it back to pre-industrial.
1,000 years. Do you realize if the planet understood that, nobody would change a motherfucking thing? 1,000 years.
Didn't know that.
I know you didn't. Hardly anybody does.
I know if you planted a trillion trees, you could reverse as well. Plant 1 trillion trees.
I don't know about that. It's just like I'm the only one that knew on March the 25th of last year, the Bank of England, which is like our Federal Reserve in America, came a cunt's hair away from, it was a Thursday, they were going to file bankruptcy on the Monday. That's how close we came here. And I showed the headline from the Financial Times. They put it on page 48. The world's through. There is no coming back. Civilization went in the fucking toilet. I rest my case on that happy note. Thank you. Bye-bye.